They thought it was time to virtue signal. Now they've changed their mind. After changing the character Sokka in Avatar the Last Airbender, the live action remake on Netflix, Netflix is realizing a backlash they do not need. So it's time to get out their guy to say, oh, no, 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 we didn't change this. No, indeed. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. Happy to have everybody out there. This is the place where we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. What a joy it is to continue doing it. We do not take a single video nor viewer for granted. Today, we're talking about this situation with Avatar the Last Airbender, where Ian Owsley, the actor who plays Sokka, had previously bragged that they had fixed some of those terrible things about Sokka. And well, it turns out that audiences actually liked Sokka and they liked his character development story. They liked the arc. And now Netflix is busy trying to get the audience to say, well, please come on back. Please, we'll watch it again. Here we go. This out of Games Radar. Sokka actor responds to character change backlash in Netflix's live action Avatar. He's still the Sokka we know and love. Folks, notice that the backlash came because this same actor was bragging that they fixed Sokka just a few days and weeks ago. So this is damage control, and the damage came straight from, well, whoever told him to get out there and say this. This is an article by Bradley Russell. It says the live-action version of Sokka in Avatar The Last Airbender is still the character we know and love, according to actor Ian Owsley, amid fan backlash to the perceived changes from the Nickelodeon cartoon in the upcoming Netflix series. The animated show really is the heart and soul of what our live action show is. We were not trying to take out anything, Owsley tells Games Radar Plus. Obviously, we took out that element, but he still has that attitude. Stop! Let's go back again because you can see how much this young man is trying to do backflips now to fix this problem that probably he was told to make, and it's not his decision in the first place. He's not the one making the decisions about what's going in the show. Let's read it again because I love this. We were not trying to take out anything. Obviously, we took out something. It's back-to-back sentences. It makes no sense, but this is the game of Twister they have put themselves in. Not a sexist attitude, but it's morphed into more of a, in Sokka and Katara's relationship, that's his sister, I'm the leader and you're the follower situation, stuff like that. Because, folks, we are now ruled by such a puritanistic, tyrannical kind of force with the DEI mobs out there that you can't even have a character learn that boys are not better than girls. He can't start off with that kind of flaw. And he certainly can't start off with that kind of flaw if he's a character of color because, well, those characters are supposed to be perfect. Darn it. Owsley continues. He's still the Sokka we know and love from the cartoon. I don't even think fans would notice some of these things. Well, then why did you get out there and say it? Because if it was not going to be noticed, then why did you damage the show by getting out there and saying it? And perhaps more fairly to this young actor, who told you to go out there and say that, to put that talking point out into the media? And this speaks, folks, again to what we've been watching, which is now Hollywood is beginning to realize that if they get out there and they virtue signal about this stuff that doesn't need any kind of virtue signaling at all, because it's a bunch of bunk, well, they're going to face a backlash. And now they're running just a wee bit scared. They're scared because this show could take a ratings hit because fans want it to be like the cartoon. They want their characters to be true to the source material. Sokka starts off as a character who thinks that boys are better than girls and girls have their place in the world. And he finds out later that girls can do a lot of really cool things, and he matures as a result. We have to be able to show characters mature, and that means they have to start off from a place that is less than the place they arrive. That is called the hero's journey. And that is what has been destroyed. Think about Star Wars. What did they do that made people hate the sequel trilogy so much beyond just wrecking the legacy characters? They decided to do away with the hero's journey. Rey starts off perfect. Rey ends up perfect. There's no journey, and you can't relate. You know why you can't relate with Sokka now? Because Sokka starts off apparently as a leader who thinks that others should follow. That's the character flaw, seriously? Because guess what? It turns out that by the end of the cartoon, Sokka is a leader, and people do follow Sokka because he becomes a leader. So that's not actually a character flaw and a character arc. That's just substituting out something that actually was an error on his part, thinking that boys are totally better than girls, and switching it to something else. The controversy surrounding Sokka all originates from an interview Owsley gave to Entertainment Weekly. In it, he suggested certain elements of the Water Tribe's members' attitude towards women would be toned down for the live action adaptation. In the original series, his brash pig headedness eventually melts away after encountering the female Kyoshi warriors. There's more weight with realism in every way, he said at the time. Kiawentio, who plays Katara, added, I feel like we also took out the element of how sexist Sokka was. I feel like there were a lot of moments in the original show that were iffy. Now, why did two young actors decide to say that? Well, probably because they were told to. This reminds me very much of the situation we had where we were with the Disney Snow White situation, where Rachel Zegler comes out. She says something at D23, and people are like, "Oh, Rachel Zegler is terrible and dumb." Listen, Rachel Zegler has made plenty of mistakes all on her own, but the fact that Gal Gadot also got out there and said essentially the exact same line in a different situation with a different reporter means that probably they were prepped to say such a thing, because the Walt Disney Company at the time apparently thought that that was what people wanted to hear, that Snow White was a flawed product of its time and they were going to change it, and she was going to be a strong, independent woman, a liberating socialist leader taking on the evil queen. That's what they thought audiences wanted to hear. They live in such a bubble, these Hollywood types, they live in such a bubble that they don't understand that that is a terrible way to go about trying to make something, because that's not what audiences are interested in at all. And that's why you've seen just recently the Disney executive come out and call out that, oh my gosh, we're gonna have degenerative kind of displays of genders, and they're trying to get out there because they're frustrated and angry that Bob Iger might pivot back to showing universally loved ideas, ideals, and characters, and that's what's happening here. So, in the same way, it appears that somebody somewhere above these two actors decided that this was the talking point that would really reinvigorate interest in the show, which, by the way, is debuting today. And they were misaligned with the audience. These folks out there, these whoever this is, these handlers who decide that this is the kind of message that needs to come out, they're the ones who need to be fired. And honestly, these actors, they're just saying the things that they're told to say to a large degree. I know Rachel Zegler goes beyond that in many, many ways. She's kind of a unique situation. She's up there with the Amber Heards of the world. You get the idea. But with these two young actors playing these two characters, surely this came from somebody above them. And Netflix needs to figure out who that is. And then Netflix needs to say goodbye, bye bye, because you need to provide some kind of result. And if your result is negative, if you tell people to go out there and market a movie or a show in a way that harms your movie or your show, and this definitely will have a negative impact, well, you're just not good at what you do. And Hollywood needs to wake up to this now and decide, you know what? It's okay for our characters to be flawed, because that's what makes them human. And it's okay for them to learn and to adapt and to get better, because that's what makes them relatable. And we're going to get back to that. And I know, shocking folks, it's okay for characters to be authentically of an Asian culture and to come in with a preconceived notion about gender stereotypes and then have their world enlightened, and to have that grow and to mature. It's okay, folks. We're all people who can handle that. Even kids can handle that. And how do I know that? Because they already did with the cartoon. And nobody, let me repeat it, nobody was harmed by that cartoon. It almost certainly is in every way better than what this live action remake will be. So the live action remake should have always been aspiring to be more like it, not less. And trying to fix that is just misaligned hubris. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, don't forget that we release content every single day, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Pro Channel. If you're not yet a member of the Patreon, it's www.patreon.com/WDWPro for even more content, perhaps too spicy to put anywhere else. Folks, we love having you on board. We hope to see you again wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.